Oh, bruh, what the Couyons up to today?
Welcome
Back
back to
with
the
another
channel,
one.
babies. Hey, we got a
Compass box.
Scotch this go round.
The story of the Spaniard. Blended malt Scotch whiskey. Bold, fruity, and spicy.
We got a lot of single malts in the world, and a lot of people kind of shit on blended Scotch whiskeys, but sometimes you get a hold of a certain blend that's just it'll battle a lot of the single malts out of the world. Like Compass Box would make them. Like if you're talking about a blended Scotch, if you want to show somebody what a blended Scotch can be, Compass Box is what you would import somebody.
Compass box does a good job blending, man. Them and Blue Hanger for sure.
Oh yeah, Blue Hanger's good too. They got a few of them out there. I think a lot of times blended whiskeys are overlooked.
Yeah,
To,
definitely.
to be on the safe side, I would say if I was to give somebody a Scotch, I would say steer clear away from blends unless you are talking about a few different makers. And Compass Box would be one. Blue Hanger's really good. They make a bunch of different good blended stuff. But even though some of the major ones out there, they kind of most of it's
Yeah.
chill filtered, adding coloring into it. This is always non-chill filtered natural color. So.
I'm not against the whole Johnny Walker brand, but I'm not a big fan of them. I do like the green label though.
Yeah, they make some good expressions. It just depending on most of that stuff's mass marketed. You get the black label and the red label and stuff like that, but not all that stuff's bad.
Now this is a 43% alcohol. So right there, what 86?
Yep, a little on the lower end, but on the lower end for Americans. Sometimes they get it in 40% and across the pond over there, but the Spaniard. So
Let's give it a good little view up here, so we can catch it in focus.
there's a little story behind that whiskey. John Glazier, the maker, the founder of Compass Box Whiskeys, he was traveling with a friend in the south of Spain, and they stopping at every little bar. This is before he knew what he wanted to do as far as making whiskey and whatnot, and being considered a whiskey maker. So they're in the south of Spain. They stopped at every little bar and trying different sherries. Well, they ran across, because sherry is what they do down in south of Spain. Spanish wine is sherry. So they ran across this old man who decided to teach them everything about sherry whiskey. And this whiskey is actually named after him, the guy who kind of taught him the craft of what sherry can taste like. And they called it the Spaniard, and they got a picture of the guy on the front, or a depiction of what they thought he looked like. So, but that's the story of the Spaniard. Actually, the actual whiskey is called, I think, the story of the Spaniard. Compass Box, the story of the Spaniard. So, it's a good whiskey though. We'll get into it. Color on it, it's actually dark for a Scotch. Sometimes you get a Scotch that's just pale as can be.
It's got a little bit more color on it.
A little bit more
You
color.
can definitely tell it's a Scotch by
You
looking
can tell
at
it's a Scotch though, yeah.
I'm going into this blind. I have never had this. I've never nosed it yet. I came close to a minute by accident ago, but
It's good, but I got a lot of Compass Box whiskeys. A lot of the baseline stuff they've ever made I've had. We've ran across what it was, Spice Tree had multiple bottles of Spice Tree Artist Blend. That's kind of like their budget. That one's
a
great.
few different ones, but I don't think I've ever had this one.
Spaniard's that one's really good. Orchard House is one of their fairly newer bottlings. That's pretty good. Even though the Oak Cross, which is discontinued, I had a couple of bottles of that. That was really good. That was probably one of my. I wish they still had that bottle actually, but I think Orchard House kind of replaced Oak Cross. But we got the Spaniard, and we're gonna give it a little Couyons go at it on the nose.
Oh, okay.
Popping with fruits.
Yeah. And it's not even like the pear, like the normal pear that you get with Scotch. Like it's overpowered by something else.
So if you ever had sherry, like lots of dark sherry notes, like your plums, wild berries.
I'm getting something. I trying to find a word for it.
Even strawberry would be in there. A little pomegranate. It's got a lot of fruit notes.
Kind of like a dragon fruit, maybe.
I can get that too. It's a lot of fruity notes to it. But then you also get a little hint of oak in there, just a little hint, with some spices that you would get from whatever cask it's in.
Does this have any peat to it?
No, it's unpeated. So the whiskeys at Compass Blocks usually, I'm not sure the actual blend on this one, but the whiskeys they usually use, they like there's a few. This one's all malt, so sometimes they use like on the artist blend. They use some grain in it, which is probably like wheated whiskey. That adds like a little creaminess to it with that wheat. But this one is it's all just single malts. They use a lot of Klein Leash. It's like a Klein Leash 14-year or a younger Klein Leash whiskey that they blend. And that's like one of the main whiskeys. And Linkwood is another one that Compass Box uses a lot. But I'm not sure the actual composition of single malts in this one.
I find it has like a stone smell. Like a rock.
I can get that. Yeah. Like a wet limestone?
Yes.
Wet slate?
I don't know about limestone necessarily, but just like stone, like wet stone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're in the mountains or whatever, you just have that
Fresh rain off a blacktop?
I don't know about blacktop, but yeah.
But yeah, it's got some fruity notes to it for sure. And I do, like I said, I do get a little bit of spice in there with the whatever was that little like cask it was in. By the way, this is ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and French oak.
I'm gonna say I do kind of get a subtle caramel.
Yeah, you do get a little caramel.
It's when you first start nosing it, though, it's definitely pungent on the fruits. Like it really stands out. I think I'm getting more used to it. The thing that really stands out to me, like, is that stone smell.
Yeah. So apparently Andalusia is Spain is like very famous for sherry, and he was talking about that I think that's where they met that Spaniard guy that they kind of made the whiskey after or named the whiskey after. But it's aged in sherry cask, fortified wine sherry cask, and then they take it out of there and put it in American and French oak cask after. So it's had a couple of casks. Like it goes into a few different casks before they blend it. So or
I
in the blending process.
Get the sherry maybe on the nose, but
all right, man.
I was ready. Do this.
Cheers. Let's get into it.
Well, like I said in the last video, minty. I get some mintiness out of it.
Yeah, I get that. Still very fruity on the taste, but it kind of like I get ginger. A little bit of pear, you know, you get that. The pear's not on the nose, but almost like a.
I can get ginger.
I get a little pear, get a little ginger with the spices, almost like ginger spice. The bacon spices come in at the end on this one though. You don't get any of the spices immediately, and then once you start getting into the fruit flavors and stuff like that, that hits you first, all the sweet notes, and then you start getting the barrel spice and stuff like that towards the end.
The oak towards the end too.
Yeah, come in with the spices, definitely.
I don't find it doesn't linger very long.
Mm-mm.
The proofing's real low. There's a subtle bite there. A little bit of alcohol, but really nothing to,
Finish is not terrible though. I find it lingers for a little bit. I usually once I swallow for that taste to really be going, like if you really count seconds, if you get past 11 seconds, you got a little something going. If anything, I would say a medium finish, but it's nothing like. I think that might be held back because maybe it's a blended whiskey, so I'm not sure what's the. I'm sure it's not all the whiskey's not super old, and also the proofing's gonna hold it back because you had a minimum of 86 proof, which is not terrible like for a Scotch, but it's not a 92 proofer either, you know.
It definitely lasts a lot longer if you let it sit on the tongue.
Yeah, that's what I usually.
A moment before you swallow it down.
Yeah.
Let it sit there for a good 2-3 seconds, then drink it, and then the finish does last a lot longer.
Yeah. Definitely fruity though, man. It's a fruity whiskey.
I was thinking I was getting on the nose like a peat or a smoke or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But on the palate, not at all. Nothing. Not like. And obviously you said it's not peated or anything, but.
Kind of get what I would get on the nose. I got kind of the same thing on like the fruits on the like plum, figs. You get that ginger taste, but that ginger taste comes in right before the spices and stuff, and it doesn't last long. You know, kind of like a little light citrus, and then them spices come and the oak kind of come towards the end of the finish, and then it kind of flickers off after there. You know what I mean? Mouthfeel is really thin on this though. It's not. It doesn't have a good mouthfeel. There's no oiliness to it. But I don't think that's kind of what they went with it. The price on that, they usually run about in the $60 price range. So if I had to give it a price, I want to say you're looking at about $65, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, but usually around 65 on average.
I said they got bold, fruity, and spicy down here. Bold, spicy, not so much to me. I think the fruity is really
yeah,
hands on. Like right, it's definitely fruity. Like fruity, minty, oaky.
Yeah, I see what you get with the mint though. See, I think what you get with mint, I think I would be calling the ginger spice, that ginger, that flavor. That have you ever had that?
I think the ginger's more up front.
Sharpness of ginger, but it's good. It's almost like a sweet and sour. You know what I mean?
I like it. I can't say that I'm like loving it, but I like it. It's definitely a little bit different from scotches that I'm used to.
Yeah. I find it's got like all the compass boxes have like an elegant neatness to it. Like it's something that you could have. I could sit at a bar and drink this, or I could sit at the house and just put on some music and pop a bottle of it and just hang out and drink it. I mean, it's not like something that's you got to sit down and ponder a whole bunch about. I mean, it's not overly complex.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not too complex.
It's got a good flavor to it. It's a really good flavor just to.
It's got a good flavor.
It's not good whiskey just to sit back and have.
Like you said, it's not very rich and it's not very mouthfully or.
It's a little thin.
Yeah.
But the flavors that they do, I think what they were trying to accomplish with the whiskey, I think they did. It's and all the compass boxes are good. I love them all. But a lot of times they do kind of run. This one especially, being at 43%, I think it runs a little thin. But I like it still. This is my first bottle of the Spaniard. Compass Box Spice Tree really was one that I love it. It's at 92 proof though. It's got a little bit more ass to it. This one's still good though. But for a Couyons rating, if you ready to rate it, give a score.
Oh, where do I think I need to be on this? Yeah, I think I'm about ready. I think I'm gonna go about a 6.75.
All right. See, I was going 7.25.
Okay.
But I am more of a Scotch guy, so this was like definitely like a run-of-the-mill Scotch. But I like it more than some of the other scotches I've had.
I don't dislike it. It's just it's not my flavor profile.
Right.
It's not what I like the Islas and the.
Oh no, it's not Isla for sure.
I
Matter of
like-
fact, it's like anti-Isla. It's fruity.
It's almost in a kind of a sense boring
Yeah.
to me. It's not that it's bad. It's just not interesting enough.
Yeah. See how I like it? I think it's interesting in a different way. So whereas Isla's hit you with that smoky, briny, kind of like in your face, smoky barbecue, sea breeze, maritime note. This is more of like an elegant fruit, a little bit of hint of creaminess, a little menthol note to it, and spiciness to the end. It's really elegant whiskey that just a different kind of appreciation. That's all.
When I think this whiskey, I think I could sit down and have a glass of it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But when I'm done with it, am I gonna want to oh man, I need another glass of that? Probably not. I'd probably just enjoy a subtle glass with it every now and then. But yeah.
So roundabout, almost about a 7.
That puts it right at a 7.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it is. That would put it kind of average, which I think it's right there. I would think it's a little above average, but not much. But it's a good whiskey though. But that's the review though. Compass Box, the Spaniard. We got a lot more reviews in the pipeline, guys. We got a lot of whiskeys to review. Ryan's down visiting for Christmas vacation for the holidays and stuff.
Technically, that would be up.
Oh yeah, I always say down because I'm so used to being at the
Just
bottom of the boot. Yeah. So we're probably ringing the new year with some whiskeys too coming up. So
bunch of Couyons in Arkansas.
yeah.
Man.
But happy holidays, guys. Check us out on the next video and like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here. If you like whiskeys and you like watching some guys just talk about some whiskeys and whatnot. So
We like comments too. We reply to all of them.
yeah, if you've ever had the Spaniard, tell us what you think about it. That's it, guys.
All right. See y'all on the next one.